I just feel like Colt is very lazy. He doesn't have a job. He's almost 40 years old. He's a loser bum. So I know a lot about him, and I'm like really confused as to why Courtney is trying to be with him.
But I'll be on it always, always and ever.
Hey queens, welcome back to my queen cave. My name is Shelby, queen of the queen cave, and I am so glad this episode was chopped down to 45 minutes compared to episode 1, which was almost an hour and a half. Thank God. But today I'm gonna do a recap of 90 Day Fiancé, The Single Life, season 5, episode 2. Picking up where we left off with Pedro and Sophie, Pedro is really just trying to understand what Sophie wants at this point after learning about her and Rob, and he's just really trying to make sure he's not being strung along and his feelings aren't being played with. But on the other hand, Sophie just continues to reiterate she just wants Pedro to slow down. He's coming on too strong. She's interested in him, that's not the problem. She just feels like he's coming on too fast. At this point, Sophie and Julia go back to the bathroom, and Pedro takes it upon himself to now ask Liz for some more detail about what's going on with Sophie. And Liz basically tells Pedro Sophie's just not in a place right now where she should be dating. You know, she's still healing from her last relationship with Rob, so she's just not ready for her to get back in a relationship type of thing. I truly feel like Pedro completely misunderstood and like misconstrued what Liz said and went back and told Sophie that, and that's like now creating this big rift between Liz and Sophie. I don't know if anyone else like received what Liz was saying that way, the same way Pedro was, or if you received it as her trying to tell him like she's just not ready to jump into another relationship right now, she's still healing. I don't think that she was telling Pedro like she wasn't interested, just more of telling him like you are doing too much too quickly, you know? So I just want to know how y'all feel in the comments down below. But after Pedro hears this, he's like confused, he's pissed off, he's like wondering why she's even there with him, trying to spend time with him, get to know him, meet his friends, X, Y, and Z, if she's not like intending on getting into a relationship after he's trying to do all these gestures for her. And if we're gonna be real, do all this love bombing, he thinks that that should automatically equate to them having a relationship for some reason. It's just like, that doesn't mean much, you know? It's like, let you guys get to a point where you can get to know each other and actually learn each other and not just rush into a relationship after talking for a few weeks on the internet. I don't know why you haven't gotten out of that after the whole Chantel thing, but I digress. But once Sophie comes back to the bathroom and she talks to Pedro, they just agree to meet up the next day so they can hash out and have further conversation away from this environment. But you can tell at this point, Sophie's kind of over it. She's like not interested. She's like, all right, okay, bye. Their whole like goodbyes was so awkward. I'm like, this is cringy as fuck. I already know that sit down they have was even more awkward, but we'll get to that later. Next, getting over to Kim, we're still sitting down with her and Jamal continues to explain how devastated that he's feeling after realizing Kim has been hiding his siblings from him his whole life. But as they're talking about meeting with Larry so Kim can tell him about their sister that they have, Jamal wants to make sure he is in attendance so Kim can't keep lying to everyone. Like, he does not trust her, not one bit. He feels so betrayed by her, and I understand where he's coming from, and I do agree he should be in attendance just so he can get all the factual information, you know, as it's happening in real time and not have to just rely on whatever Kim is saying, because clearly she can't be trusted. But we find out that Jamal found out about his sister when he was like 12 years old after he heard Kim talking to her mom on the phone about her. So we don't get any more detail about her in this episode. And I thought it was just weird that we didn't get any further like context on how Jamal feels about his sister now. So it's just like, so you've known about her this whole time. Do you guys have a relationship? Like, do you talk to her? How was that meeting her? Like, have you met her? You know, it's like, I thought it was weird that we didn't get any more information from Jamal about how he felt about learning about his sister or any sort of like relationship they have. It was just kind of like a cliffhanger. So I guess we'll get more detail on that when they meet up with Larry and Kim tells him about her and whatnot, but I just thought that was weird. So now we're getting over to Courtney and Colt, and I don't know anything about Courtney from like her season on the regular 90 Day show. I forgot what the show is called, but I just know a little bit about her from the Retreat show. And Colt, I know a lot about his time on the show. I know he's a bum, a loser, and has audacity to be a cheater. I'm like, dude, you already are taking a lose-lose in the looks department, if we're gonna be real, because you don't keep up with yourself. I feel like everyone has the potential to be attractive in their own way if they keep up like simple maintenance with themselves, you know, like just keep yourself groomed, keep yourself clean, keep yourself maintenance put together, put some effort into yourself. Everyone has a beautiful side to them. You just have to be the one to put the effort to have it come out, you know what I mean? But I just feel like Cole is very lazy. He doesn't have a job. He's almost 40 years old. He's a loser bum. So I know a lot about him, and I'm like really confused as to why Courtney is trying to be with him. Like, clearly, if we're gonna be real, just respectfully, but being real, Courtney is desperate. She's clearly desperate for a man. She'll take anyone, hence why she's shacking up with Colt in her parents' home. Are you kidding? When I heard that, I was like, wow. Because if we're gonna be real, from what it sounds like, Courtney is also a bum in her own right. Like, she's 34 years old. She still lives with her parents, and she has no plans on moving out because she told her parents she's going to move out after she gets married. And it's like, it doesn't seem like that's going to happen anytime soon. So that means for the foreseeable future, you're just going to be mooching off of your parents. And they're older, by the way. It seems like they had her when they were like in their more advanced years, because they're like, they seem like they're in their like late 60s. They look old to me. But yeah, I just feel like that's just a horrible combination. Like, how are you going to have two bums leeching off of these elderly people? You know, it's so wrong to me. I thought the whole thing was a turn off. I want Courtney to love herself so much and realize her worth and realize she can do so much better than Colt if she really wanted to believe that she deserves that. I just hate seeing that she's his, like, full-time caregiver at this point. He can barely wipe his ass, as she said, and I'm like, ugh. You're over here for real, like, taking full care of this 40-year-old loser bum? Like, are you not embarrassed? It's really embarrassing, if you want to ask me. It's just not, it's not anything that would make anyone else outside of Colt, if you were trying to look for anyone else, be, like, attracted to, in my opinion. It's like, what do you have going on for yourself, Courtney? What do you have that you can say you've accomplished? Like, what are you doing with your life? I just really want to know, like, what are these people doing? You have enough wherewithal and enough, like, guts to get on this show. So it's just like, why wouldn't you use that into something else you can actually build off of and have as your own? You know, I don't understand the mindset that they have going on here. Their biggest issue in their relationship, besides them both mooching off of her parents, is that they don't have much of a sex life. And that has Courtney really feeling insecure at this point, because from what she knows, Colt is a very, like, horny all the time, always wanted to have sex, want to be humping like rabbits all the time type of mindset. And when it comes to her, it's like he can't keep his parts hard enough for them to have any sex. And she's over here like wondering, like, why is that? Because any other time he's able to get it up, he's always talking about how much sex he has, X, Y, and Z. So you would think there would be no issue with them having sex, but it seems like when it comes down to her, he just can't keep it up. I mean, whatever. That's how she explained it. Go ahead and skip past some of the details. But that makes her skeptical that he might be using her, because why else are you not able to, like, get hard with me, but you can with all the rest of the girls that you've been with? Later on in the episode, we find out, I guess from Colt's side, that essentially, from what I got from what he said, was he was not sexually attracted to Courtney the same way he was with the previous women that he's been with. And he's made it real known the previous women that he's been with are, like, Hispanic women. So it's just like, so do you not have sexual feelings for Courtney because she's not Hispanic? Like, I don't understand what else you could be saying, because she's doing everything for you. What else could you be asking for? I don't understand. Like, Colt is in a position where you're like, beggars cannot be choosers. Why are you feeling as if you have any room to, like, have... I'm just saying. It's just not sounding good. Like, I just feel like the position that Colt is in, you're lucky to have any prospects at all. So if you have a woman that is willing to put everything about herself to the side for some dumbass reason to take care of your funky ass, and you have the nerve to have some like sort of reservations against why you can't get like sexually aroused when it comes to her, but you could easily do that with other women that was not doing half as much for you, I'm so confused. I'm so confused because it definitely is pointing to the signs that you are using her, because what else could it be? Quick scene over to Gino. He meets up with Natalie, and basically Gino lets Natalie know that he is really sorry about how things went down the last time they were together, and he really wants a second chance with her. She's open to it, but she's very, very cautious and skeptical because of how bad things ended last time. And I just feel like Gino didn't do enough to protect Natalie. He didn't do enough to respect her when it came down to Jasmine, and there was like zero boundaries. I just feel like he could have done a lot more in those clips that I've seen. But she seems like she's willing to give him a shot, but she's very much cautious, so we'll get more detail on that, I'm sure, in the next episode, but there wasn't much to add here. Next, so getting over to the Pedro and Sophie sit down. So like I was saying before, Pedro like completely misconstrues and misunderstands what Liz was telling him about Sophie. And he basically tells Sophie that Liz told him to be careful around Sophie. And that like is making Sophie feel like Liz told him something that she shouldn't have. I just feel like this whole thing is so all over the place because of one misunderstanding from my perspective. I just feel like this whole thing is now going to be like a snowball effect, and it didn't have to be. So she is now mad at Liz because she feels like, from what Pedro was saying, she divulged too much information or gave him some detail she shouldn't have. So that's going to go down in the next episode. But anyway, Pedro was all pissed off at Sophie, saying that she was really adamant that she was like 110% healed. She was ready to get back into the dating field. She was comfortable. She's ready to go. But Sophie is like, what are you talking about? I made it very clear to you that I was not at that point yet. I'm still in my healing phase. So I don't know what you're talking about. So it just seems like there's a clear misunderstanding and disconnect. Like they've never been on the same page, and it's weird to see that you guys had to get all the way out to this point to realize that. Again, Pedro is pissed off because he just feels like Sophie is playing with his emotions. He's doing all this extra love bombing to try to convince her to get into a relationship, and he thought they were so exclusive, but now he's finding out that she's telling him, I'm single, I can do whatever I want. He's like, what? I thought we were exclusive. So it's just like, as I said, they were never on the same page, and they end this whole sit down so awkwardly. Clearly there's tensions rising, and I'm like, this is a mess. Like, this was already gonna be a train wreck from the beginning. I don't know why you guys thought this was gonna work, and I'm interested to see how things continue to escalate these next few episodes. Okay, finally to the last scene. We're back to Courtney and Colt, and Courtney is out with her friends having a girls' day. She's so excited to get out of the house after feeling like a caged animal being stuck in the house, waiting on Colt hand and foot. And she's expressing her sexual frustrations with her friends about Colt. And then we get a scene with Colt on the phone with his friend, and they get on that topic as well. And he just, like I was explaining earlier, he's always had a Hispanic woman. He's never had an issue getting his parts up for them. But with Courtney, he basically says that she's boring. Like, she doesn't give him that spark and that fire that those Hispanic women that he was saying gives him. She's just like vanilla ice cream. Like, she's boring as fuck. So he's just not into it. And we get back to Courtney, and she tells her friends she went through his phone. I guess she was helping him with something, and she saw a few messages he was sending other women. Hello? Flirting with them. I was like, wow, are you kidding? You cannot be serious. She's doing all of this pause on that. Side note, we go into deeper detail onto Colt and his timeline of constant cheating, and I'm just, again, confused. Why are you, when you're in the position that you're the type of person that you are, you have the audacity to feel bold enough to cheat on the people that are giving you the time of day? Are you for real? Like, I'm flabbergasted just hearing him talk about, like, his long history of cheating as if it's just like a normal thing for him. I'm just like, what the fuck? I don't get it. I don't understand it by any means. But on the topic of that, Colt drops some sort of a bomb, and he says that he has been in constant contact with a woman that he met, I think he said a year before Courtney. He was talking to her. Her name was Diana, I think. And he had plans to go meet up with her after the retreat, but the plans changed after he broke his leg and him and Courtney connected and they got together after that. So he is still, after he is in Courtney's parents' house and she is waiting on him hand and foot, yeah, he is still in contact with her. Like, that's what I'm saying. I don't get it. Can anyone explain? I don't think so. It makes no sense. I don't even know how to put it in words, how confusing as fuck that is. You have someone that is doing all of this extra shit for you that they don't need to. He makes note that he had nowhere else to go and he didn't know what he was gonna do if Courtney didn't bring him in. Like, so if you would know that and you acknowledge that, you would still do her dirty like that, there's something wrong with you. Like, I hope Courtney finds this out. I hope you tell her, and I hope she has enough common sense to kick you to the fucking curb, and I hope you're on the streets, because that's where you deserve to be at. That is so rude as fuck. And on top of that, once again, under her parents' roof, like, how much more disrespectful can you be? Ew. Anyway, I can't wait to see how that unfolds in the next episode. And of course, again, like I said, we get the heat up between Sophie and Liz. I can't wait for. So yeah, next episode should be bomb. Let me know how you felt about this episode in the comments down below. If you did like this video, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!